Oh, I'm so sorry.
And feel free to just take the questions yourself.
Okay. Phone's on silent. What is going on? Welcome to Hard to Kill Weekend. I'm excited for the show, for the events, and very excited to talk to you great people, as always.
So I'd like to, Nick Hausman Wrestling.
Raise your hand. Sir, first.
Yes. You were looking right at me, so I felt engaged.
I'm cockeyed, you don't know that.
Well, good maybe first step there with my question. You know, Eddie, you've had such a great career. You've obviously been taking a more brutal route the past couple years, especially since Sammy. Physically, how are you holding up right now going into the weekend?
You know, knock on wood, I'm feeling good. You know, we had some time off over the holidays, and I spent time with the family and stuff like that at home, rest and recovery, and you know, I'm not a spring chicken, as you pointed out. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, I try to go, you know, be better about taking care of myself as far as rehabbing and preventative exercise and stuff like that. So I feel good right now. You know, there's obviously nagging injuries and bumps and bruises along the way. We all understand that, but overall, man, I'm very happy with the way things are going, and I'm excited for the new year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Johnson, PPV Insider. Hi, Eddie. So you're gonna wrestle Michael Elgin tomorrow. You guys kind of gave away a big part of that on Impact TV just this past week. How hard is it coming out of a match like that was so great to then come back just a couple of days later in the eyes of the fans and try to one-up that?
You know, I wouldn't say we gave it away. I'd say we gave a little taste of what we can do. Like that's just a sample size of what Elgin's capable of, what I'm capable of, and what we're capable of together. So I think the point of that was to get people invested, to follow the story and want to see more. And I hope we did that job of, you know, making people want to tune in. And the test for us as wrestlers is to go out there and one up ourselves and each other each and every time. You know, that's the pressure that I put on myself to go out there and have a better match than the night before, than the week before, constantly getting better. And to have to go out there and do it again, you know, like you said, only a few days later, it's a challenge, but it's a challenge that I'm gladly accepting.
Rena Morales from thechairshot.com. Because of the match this past week, now your Call Your Shot trophy is on the line. Can you tell us a little bit about what that trophy means to you in your career?
Well, you know, Timmy, his name's Timmy the Trophy. You know, winning the Call Your Shot, you know, Battle Royal is a huge step in my career as of right now, because at any point I can call my shot, as it says in the name, and go after a title, whether it be the World Heavyweight title or the X Division title or tag titles. I can use that at any point and turn it in and go for the championship. You know, I haven't had a championship around my waist for quite some time now, so to know I have that going forward and to know we have that, you know, in the company is something that's cool. It gives us a chance to, you know, keep people guessing. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when I'm going to want to turn it in or stuff like that. So to have that, it gives us options. It gives me options going forward in the future.
I wanted to raise my hand.
Thank you. Following rules, I like it.
Damien Gracia, Big Gold Belt Media. Going back to talking about longevity in the business and revitalization of self. In your entire career, I know there's multiple parts to it, but you're taking care of yourself, your recovery, be it mental, physical. Can you walk us through some of that kind of stuff where, at this point in your life, how has that changed over your entire career?
You know, for me right now, like I said, we had a few weeks off, and you know, when I'm home, I'm home. I'm pretty good at shutting off. I like to be home. I like to have that time with my family, and to not constantly be stressing or always thinking about, you know, wrestling. I always have wrestling on my mind and my heart, obviously, but you need to be able to shut it off at times when you go home, because I need to be able to shut my brain off more so. I need to shut my body off. I need to go home and rest and recover. And, you know, that's something that, you know, when I was first starting in the business, obviously all I could think about, all I wanted to do was wrestle, which that's still what I want to do, but I also cherish the time off in between that. And I go about trying to take care of myself as far as when I'm home with, you know, more so with stretching and trying to stay loose, and that's more a focus of my routine now. shutting my body off, shutting my brain off, and just staying loose and trying to take care of any nagging injuries that I have. As of right now, I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job, and hopefully going forward it just gets better. Thank you. Mike.
Following up on that, obviously the baseball bat incident with Sammy Callahan was
What
not
baseball bat incident?
was not according to plan, but it brought out a different side of you, personality-wise, sent you off in a different trajectory. Looking back on that, while I'm sure you didn't appreciate that moment when it happened, looking back at everything in hindsight, do you regret that it happened, or do you think it was a blessing in disguise?
You know, I know we've talked before about this. You know, it was the prime example of taking lemons, making it into lemonade. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, nobody wants to get hit in the face with a baseball bat. If there was long-term damage, you know, if I couldn't see correctly, or if I plate in my face, you know, it could have gone a number of different ways and much more worse than it did. You know, we had the best case scenario, and at this point, because of the way it has set my career, like, you know, I don't know, it's weird to say I'm happy that it happened, you know, but I'm more than okay that it happened because it tested me as a professional wrestler. I had to change my game. I had to change my attitude. I had a chance to get involved in things that I wasn't doing before. You know, changing up my style. We're doing different vignettes, doing promos and stuff like that. Stuff that I hadn't always done. So it gave me a chance to step outside my comfort zone and try something new. And it pushed me to improve, and I feel like I was able to do that and capture that and take that ball and run with it, and now here I am, and I have this character where I'm able to brawl and be hardcore. We can go back and do the quote-unquote wrestling, technical wrestling, stuff like that. So I feel like I'm happy with where I'm at because I know at any point I can go in any direction that I need to go, and for that I am grateful. And I'm also grateful that I didn't lose my eye.
Always a good thing.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, going into WrestleMania weekend, I guess, or whatever, there's going to be the big TNA show. And obviously you are so synonymous with the entire history of Impact and TNA. What do you hope to see on that show? What are the fondest memories of TNA you'd like to see revived and brought back for everybody?
You know, I think it's an opportunity for, you know, us as fans, you know, myself as a fan, to see, you know, some things or some people return, and kind of that nostalgia of TNA kind of when, you know, it was first started and stuff. I think it gives an opportunity to maybe see some certain people return. I don't know names. I don't want to say names.
The Wolves?
You know
Wolves
what I mean?
North?
The Wolves. The Wolves versus the North would be a match that I would love to have, and never say never. You know, the Ultimate X match, of course, would be nice to have on that show. I think just to have that feel and kind of invite the fans back, kind of take that trip back in time to watch these matches and kind of a throwback. And, you know, there could be, I think it's a good chance to have some funny stuff as well. You know what I mean? Like, there's been some stuff that, you know, TNA's history, that maybe didn't go the best way possible. So I think it gives us a chance to have some fun as fans and poke fun at ourselves as wrestlers, and to have a great show and a great event. And I have no doubt that it will do that.
So evolution seems to be the name of the game, talking about your evolution as a wrestler, but also the evolution of Impact as a company. And you've been with the company for quite some time. How do you view Hard to Kill as a moment for Impact going into 2020, and where you see it possibly evolving this year?
You know, with Hard to Kill coming up tomorrow, it's, you know, it's a new year. It's still a, you know, relatively new company as far as, you know, working with Access TV and, you know, ownership and all that. And right now, this is a chance for us to once again, I feel like every time we have a pay-per-view, we have an event, we go out there and we kill it. Each and every time. We seem to step our game up each and every time. And this time will be no different. And it's important for us as a company to kick off the year right with this, to show that we have the momentum going forward. We have Access TV behind us. Our company, our office, our front office, all the boys and girls in the locker room, we're all on the same page. And I've said this before in interviews and stuff, it's important that we are all on the same page. We know the goal is to go forward. Nobody's working against each other. Everybody's very open with how things are going. We know, you know, companies aren't going to change overnight, and we know that. But it's a steady climb. In this company, we have steadily climbed and clawed each and every step of the way, and we will continue to do so. This year is a big year. I'm very excited for Hard to Kill, but I'm also very excited for what we have laying ahead this year. You know, the sky's the limit, it really is. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's just step one of many steps going forward.
Okay, yeah, I wanted to
Oh, you cut him off.
Oh, sorry, come on, behind me.
As I'm shooting a missile.
I'm not.
I did that.
My moments. All right, go ahead.
It's fine. So, spanning your entire career till now, you become now that locker room leader type person for younger talent. How do you take that responsibility on yourself, or is that something you're interested in doing long term? And when that happens, how do you kind of espouse all the knowledge that you've learned over all these years?
You know, I think it's something that, you know, as far as myself and even before in other locker rooms, you know, it's something that just kind of happens. You know, guys will come up to you, or guys will ask your opinion, and you know, I've been here for the longest at this point, and you know, I've been wrestling a long time. So in wrestling, it's always important. It's always been important. We've always been taught, and when you start wrestling, every match, whatever, you go up to somebody who's been doing it longer, a veteran. You ask their opinion. You ask, you know, if they can help you out. You know, anything, any advice. You know, that's the way I was brought up. And today, there's a lot. Things are different, so it's not. I don't know. It's not as much so that way. But in our locker room, it is. You know, guys are very open. Guys and girls are very open. We try to help each other out. I think I'm more than happy to fill that role, to step in there and try to, you know, help the people out that haven't been here and try to help them with, you know, working with TV style. It's a whole different style than a lot of people in the independents have done before. So to come here, if I can, and I always say, you know, my opinion is my opinion. There's no, I am not right about anything. I don't know. I could be wrong about everything. I have my opinion. That's all it is. And so I try to tell the people that, and they can do their own thing, but I want to give my opinion as to what I think would help a certain match or a certain promo or a certain situation, and they can take that and do with it as they wish. I'm not offended if somebody turns it down or whatever. Or just take it and go on your way and use it however you want. But I think in this locker room, we have a great community. So we all go to each other and ask for opinion. Like I will ask her. Tommy Dreamer is probably he's my Yoda. Not that he just looks like him, but he is my Yoda. I go to him, you know, I ask his opinion. And that's the way it is in the locker room for a lot of people. So we're all there to help each other, and if I can do that, I am more than happy to. And I'm honored. You know, people do, you know, say that I'm a locker room leader, or veteran, or, you know, stuff like that. That means a lot to me, because that's something that I've always wanted since I first started wrestling. I wanted to be, you know, obviously loved and revered by the fans, but I want to be respected by my peers more so.
We've got time for one more question.
Stevie Richards' name was brought up. Have you been in contact with him? Is a return to wrestling something that's in the periphery for him? I know he's been kind of working on his personal life and pursuing the EMT thing.
You know, we talk occasionally through text and stuff, and you know, he's been, like I said, he was doing his own thing. He's becoming a doctor, and he's got a great life outside. You know, he's got a lot of goals, very goal orientated. And I know his name did come up, but we haven't talked and spoken details about, you know, coming back. But I know he was planning on coming back, and he had done a couple independent shows going forward. And you know, Dave is my brother, and I would love to see him back in wrestling. He's somebody that I owe a whole lot of my career to, and I wouldn't be where everything without him. So I miss him, and I would love him to be back. But whatever he needs to do to be happy is what I want him to do.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Enjoy Hard to Kill.